everybody, Doug8798 here. This is my minimal spoiler review of the 2017 Wonder Woman film, which I saw 2 weeks ago, June 17th, at the AMC IMAX theater in IMAX. I don't know if that was good enough, but this is the ticket and this is the movie. I didn't feel like reviewing it Saturday when I saw the film. I was initially gonna rewatch it for a full-length spoiler review, but I didn't feel like watching the movie all the way through again, so I decided just to do a minimal spoiler review and of a recollection of what I saw in the film, and then on my I'll do another narration review here on this channel, and two in-depth spoiler reviews on my Super Beta 400 channel. With that being said, let's get to this film. Before I even get to this film, first off, already I enjoyed the film, loved it. But my favorite thing about the film, the one thing I like about the film the most, is that unlike the previous DCEU films, the previous two DCEU films, Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, this film was positively received. This film set well with both critics and fans of the series, and is one of the highest grossing films of this year, and this film had the highest opening ever. I am happy to say and hear that the DCEU jinx is over. Yeah, Man of Steel, which was mixed. A lot of people liked it. Some people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it, man. You had Batman v Superman, which didn't sit well with critics. Fans liked it, and the Ultimate Edition received even more positive reviews. You had Suicide Squad. Which I liked, but that didn't sit well with critics. But they did praise Margaret Robbie's and Will Smith's performances. So I'm happy to hear that this film set well with both critics and fans, and topped the box office, and is one of the highest grossing films ever. See, I really wanted the DCU to really hit it out the park this year, man. They were supposed to do that last year with Batman v Superman, but that didn't live up to expectations. Then Suicide Squad, I didn't expect anything from Suicide Squad. I thought it was going to be the worst DCU movie ever. That's one of the best, probably alongside this film, and probably won't be surpassed until we get to Justice League at the end of this year. But I'm happy to hear that the DCEU jinx is over. That's my favorite thing about the film. Before I even get to the movie, the DCEU jinx is over. I'm finally happy that DCEU finally hit one out the park, and finally everything is starting to go well with them. Now that they got G.F. Johns, the guy, he if I pronounced his name right, he wrote two comic book series. Like he wrote the Hush Batman storyline in the early 2000s, and he wrote the Justice League If Night Crisis comic books. So I'm happy to hear he is working with the DC EU, even though I hear a woman directed this movie. Before I get out of the way, one thing I like about this film is that, unlike a certain other all-female cast movie that was released last year, and I'm talking to you, Ghostbusters 2016, this film didn't have no feminist agenda in this film. It had a strong female lead. That was liked by both men and women. And while this film had a female lead, the other male characters in the film were still useful, and they were just as strong of a characters as Wonder Woman was, and that I like. Yeah, you didn't have any a-holes, any idiots, or any people being bullied, people being victimized and bullied. You had strong male protagonist characters, and I appreciate the film for that. Now, the second thing I like about this film was the cartoons and comic books come to life. This was the DC animated universe I grew up with. the episodes featuring the females of Themyscira, it was spot on. Every actor in this film looks spot on. Themyscira, the warriors of Themyscira, everything. They nailed it, man. They nailed it. Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. She's foreign. I think she's Israel. She's Israel. She's an athlete. She was born to play Wonder Woman, and she was Wonder Woman in this film. You had Chris Pine, Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. They were the MVPs of actors in this movie. In this movie, even though everyone in this film did a great job, but they were the MVP of actors in this film. Chris Pine, he was just like his Captain Kirk Star Trek character, except he was much weaker and much nicer in this film. He was much weaker and much nicer in this movie, and everything from the comics and cartoons was here except for the Invisible Jet. They even had the lasso of truth, which led to a lot of funny moments in the film. Then of course the story was awesome, including the epic plot twist at the end, which the final climatic battle between Wonder Woman and Ares. That's my only disappointment with the film. I love the plot twist at the end. I really felt, when I saw it in the theaters, I really felt sorry for the Diana character. Throughout the film, they were teasing the German guy he was Stryker in Wolverine Origins. They were teasing him and his assistant, who was some witch with facial with a facial mask. They were teasing them as the villains throughout the entire film. But when Wonder Woman finally killed that guy, when she killed the German doctor, it was revealed, it was the war continued. He was supposed to be Ares, the god of war. The god of war, and once you killed him, everything was supposed to go back to normal. It didn't. Everyone, the Germans and the Americans, led by Pine, they continued fighting. And then of course Wonder Woman, then of course, and the film right there should have ended. See, this film, they needed a climatic battle with someone like Ares who can match Wonder Woman's strength, but that final climax should have been saved for another film. It should have been revealed with Sir Patrick, who was introduced earlier, and then appeared in the film for like the second two the second two act. He didn't appear until like the fourth act of the movie. It should have ended with a reveal of him as the villain. That was an awesome reveal, and you had a really complex villain about how he wasn't the god of war. He was the god of creation, something like that. And he sent all the weapons down here for the people to use in hopes they would destroy themselves. Like that. You had a really complex villain, and you wasted him, man. If I criticize Marvel for this, I gotta criticize DCEU for this. I gotta criticize DCEU for this. You had an epic villain and you straight up wasted him in the film. But man, was that an awesome climax, man. Was that an awesome climax. This film was a mixture of Captain America, the First Avenger, 2011, and Thor, 2011, except this film was bigger and badder than both of those. One thing I do not like about watching Thor now is the action sequences. Everything is filmed in the dark, making it hard to tell what's going on. And Captain America 2011 was awesome, but the Winter Soldier and now Civil War, the best of all time, they completely blow that film out of water. And this film blows both of them. One thing, like I said, I loved about the DCEU over Marvel Cinematic Universe. See, the MCU, they have a habit of, so they can make the non-superpowered characters useful, they have a habit of toning down the power levels of the characters. Characters like Hulk, Thor, Loki, Ronan, Korag, Drax, and Gamora in the comic books, and even Quill, they're extremely powerful in the comics. Here, this MCU, they aren't all that powerful, man. Have you saw Wonder Woman fighting in this film? That's how Drax, Gamora, Thor, and Loki, that's how they should have been fighting in their films, man. How you saw Wonder Woman fighting. That final climax with Ares, that's how it should be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's what I like about the DCEU. Marvel Cinematic Universe, they make science fiction campy action films slash realistic Power Rangers movies. The DCU makes actual comic book based films. They take what's in the comics and cartoons and bring it to the big screen. Marvel does that, but they like grounding everything in reality, which I don't like. Some stuff is good, but not grounding everything in reality. That I do not like. That I don't like about the MCU, and that's why I'm happy the DCU is doing well. I don't want one style. I like having two distinctive styles. I'm both an MCU and a DCEU fanboy, and I think the DCU fanboy. I think DCEU is the better of the two. Better of the two. But yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to hear. Like I said, awesome film, plot, story, characters, accuracy with the comics, everything. There will be two longer in-depth spoiler reviews on my channel in the future when I feel like rewatching the film over again. But like I said, people, my favorite thing about this film is that the DC Jinx is over. Now off to Justice League, what I've been waiting my whole life for. Alright, I'm done, people.